welcome to the SportsGrad podcast, your bite-sized guide to enter the sports industry. Joining me from across the table, as usual, is the skillful Ruben Williams. How are you, mate?
G'day, Ryan. I'm fantastic. Thank you. That's very kind of you referring to me as skillful. Someone who is actually skillful was our last podcast guest, Nat Cook, 5-time Olympian and Olympic gold medalist in Sydney 2000 with beach volleyball. Is probably someone who can actually describe as skillful. But I'm still buzzing from her episode. Everything that she shared about Brisbane 2032 got me super excited.
Yeah.
But no, she is a ripper, so I'm still coming down from that.
Absolutely. Albeit it's 10 years away, I'm amped. And Nat was awesome. How's bringing the gold medal along?
I know. I wasn't expecting that.
That was a first. A props podcast, which is something I hadn't thought of. Nat just bringing some new ideas. So
yep.
If you haven't listened to that yet, go back and take a look. Our last episode with Nat Cook, 5-time Olympian. It's an absolute cracker. Let's get into it. My name's Ryan Walker. He is Ruben Williams. We are two mates who met at Cricket Australia, and now we help people find their own dream job through this very podcast and our online community. If you want to follow us, head over to our LinkedIn, or even better, if you want to connect with us and hundreds of others working in sport, jump into the SportsGrad community.
Yes, and a quick shout out to those inside the SportsGrad community, in particular, Rishabh Gandhi, who has just picked up an athlete services supporter role with Ironman Australia. They've been very busy inside the community recruiting a number of different roles, as has Athletics Australia. They've just picked up Luke Richardson. We gave Luke Richardson a shout out just the other week for his new job with Netball Australia. He's now got another new job with another national body in Athletics Australia. So he's just racking them up. I'm sure Cricket Australia's next, and then the AFL on top of that. With the way Luke's going, he's just going to pick off the NSOs, I think.
He's just banking that experience, isn't he? Absolutely killing it. And killing it inside the community as well. He's active as all hell. He's awesome. Comes to all our events. So that just shows you, if you get involved, you're bound to land a few jobs.
Absolutely. So if you are like Luke and you want a foot in the sports industry, or if you like Athletics Australia and you want to save time hiring, or you're just like us and you might be early in your career and you're looking to network with people, from the likes of Cricket Australia, Netball Australia, AFL, and all the different clubs around the country too, then jump into the SportsGrad community. There really is something for everyone inside. So get involved through our website.
Absolutely. Rubes, I'm going to hand over some love for Deakin to you today.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. So I'm excited to hear how you go.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to be involved in their virtual open day coming up on Sunday, the 5th of June. Deakin have been an incredible support of our podcast. We've got a lot of people who come out of Deakin, and they are running one of their... they're running the virtual open day for another year. Over 100,000 people have attended in the last couple of years, and that's where you can find all the information you need about what courses to study, what campuses are available, and get all your questions answered about your potential degree right from the comfort of your home. So Sunday the 5th of June, I'll be there. Get along if you're thinking about studying.
No brainer. I'm excited to hear you talk, as I always am.
Absolutely. Well, today it's your turn to talk. What's the topic of today?
Yeah, absolutely. So today, and this topic has come from some of the conversations inside the SportsGrad community, which we love to chat about. And this one's around what skills to add to your LinkedIn profile. Now, I think that your skills on your LinkedIn profile are sometimes forgotten, I feel.
These are the ones that you can go and endorse random people, right?
Yeah. They're often forgotten about, but they are important. And we know how important LinkedIn is as a platform in your job search. We know that's a way to put yourself out there, put your best foot forward. So it's integral that you get the skills right on your profile, because every part of your profile is getting viewed in some capacity. And
then the skills is often the neglected part, right down the bottom.
Absolutely. Yeah. So skills on your profile are important because it provides that solid evidence to say, I had this experience and these are the skills that I learnt from them and these are the skills that I was performing on a day-to-day. So they are important to show on your profile. And, it's something that put a bit of time away to get right, because often people will just chuck in there, some random sort of soft skills that might not relate to the experience they've had before. And, it does play a role. So spend the time to get this right. So let's just start off. But before you're putting in a skill, ask yourself the question, is this something that I could talk about and provide examples for? Because you can't put a skill in there and have nothing to back it up. You need to be able to talk about it. So just be serious with yourself around what that looks like and whether you can actually talk about it. So I've got 5 things to think about for today. Looking forward to you chiming in, Rubes, because you are the LinkedIn superstar that everyone knows you are. So number 1, focus on the things that you want to be known for. So if you don't have certain skills, go and find them. If you want to be a fantastic communicator, go and find a way to portray those communication skills. That could be at your grassroots club, in your casual job, at uni, whatever that might be. Find the skill, what you need to do to get that, I guess, what's the word? I was going to say credit for that skill, but find a way to perform the skill. In recent times, I added podcasting to mine because...
That's a good one. I should do that.
I want to be known as someone who can do a podcast. Hopefully I can get that endorsed by you, by the way.
Yeah, I'll chuck that on straight after this.
So that one is find what you want to be known for. Don't add anything in there that doesn't relate to you or doesn't resonate with you, because it's important that these skills paint a good picture of who you are. Number 2, you need to be honest. There can be a lot of things written on LinkedIn or added to your profile. And if you were to get those wrong and say something that's not entirely true, you will be caught out. So recruiters, we know for a fact, look at these skills in comparison to your resume and CV. If you've got on your skills on LinkedIn, he's a fantastic partnership specialist who has account management skills, and then you go on your resume and there's hardly any partnerships experience and you're going for a job in partnerships, that's going to show.
Yeah.
Because 1, you're not going to be able to talk about it. And 2, how could you have those skills if you don't have the experience to back it up? So it's important to be honest.
Yeah. And if you get to an interview, you're going to leave the interviewer thinking, why did we bring this person into the interview when they said they had this skill? And it's clear that they don't.
Yeah.
So you're going to get found out one way or another.
Yeah. The third one here is add in skills that you've had more than just a month's experience doing. So, for example, if you want to add in PowerPoint or Excel or something like that, have some backing to say, I did these projects and they lasted over time. It wasn't just a one-time project. At uni, everyone's done a PowerPoint. That's pretty standard.
Yep.
But if you've presented certain things through PowerPoint, you've built pitch decks, that kind of thing, add it in. It's fantastic. Number 4 is add skills that you'll be able to get endorsements for. So endorsements are the things that really back up that you have that skill. So if you look on anyone's LinkedIn, the skills with the most endorsements will go to the top, and that essentially shows that people inside that organisation or people that they've worked for can attest that they have that skill.
So this is what we trust you to do most.
Yeah. And that's a telling sign, which is great.
It also comes back to the other point about being honest. If you're honest about your skills,
exactly,
you'll get endorsed for them. If you're not honest about your skills, no one's going to endorse you for them.
No. It's a great way to think about it. That keeps you honest. So that's really important. So aim for those skills that you know people are going to endorse you for.
And that's when the skills section actually becomes quite meaningful, when you start to build up 10, 20, 30 endorsements for a skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 5, LinkedIn has brought in it's sort of a quiz, which you can undertake to find out what your skills are. So they basically go through a bit of a skill assessment of certain things, and you can go through that and actually complete it, which then essentially tells LinkedIn whether you know that skill or not. So that's a cool tool that you can use. yes, you can go to that quiz and say you know everything about PowerPoint, but we'd also say, you know, make sure you've got a bit of experience with it as well, because yes, you can do the quiz, but nothing beats first-hand experience doing that.
Yep, absolutely.
The other thing that Rubes and I have been looking through our skills sections on LinkedIn. We did that previously, and one thing you can actually add to your skills is where the experience sits for when you had that skill and when you performed that. So we were looking at Rubes before. There's a few different experiences that he was able to get at Cricket Australia, but there's also skills that he was able to capture whilst doing SportsGrad. So that, again, just adds weight to each skill to go along with those endorsements.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that until we looked it up before, but it turns out you can actually link the skills. So I think one of mine was public speaking to the experience that we learnt it.
Yeah. It's amazing. I actually can't do it for some reason. My LinkedIn won't let me. So, Rubes, you take the cake.
Yeah. I don't know where those permissions came from.
Yeah. I think it's because my laptop's about 10 years old. So to give you just a bit of a snapshot about some of my experiences on LinkedIn and how they correlate. So I've got customer service, I've got partnerships, I've got Zendesk, and I've recently added in Discord. So customer service, I was able to get through Dollar Shave Club, through the role that I held there, and that's been endorsed by people at Dollar Shave Club. My partnerships one, I got at Cricket Australia, and that was able to be endorsed by the people inside Cricket Australia. Zendesk is the tool that I used for customer service at Dollar Shave Club. That was able to be endorsed as well. And Discord is a very fresh skill that I've added in there, yet to be endorsed, but will, hopefully by you.
Yep, I'm going to do this.
And that is purely because we use Discord as our SportsGrad community platform. So after months and months of using that, I feel like I'm quite equipped on Discord now, which is fantastic. So I didn't want to add that back in January, but I feel like I'm okay in May. So there are some examples there.
Yep, brilliant. Yeah, and they're very clear cut and they're very honest. Everything you've talked about, they hit home on all the points you've made. So that's brilliant. I think I was just looking at mine before, and one skill that's a bit wishy-washy is sports. Like my skills section has like leadership, public speaking, social media, and sports. And I'm like, I don't know
what does that mean.
Exactly. What does that mean? So I might clean that up.
Can you keep that? I love it.
Maybe I will.
You do know a lot about sports, so
yeah. I don't know if it's a skill as such, but yeah.
Wow, that's a funny LinkedIn skill. So just to finish, you can add any skill you want to LinkedIn, whether that be hard skills or soft skills, whether that's something like customer service or sports. Maybe not sports, but they need to be applicable, and even better, they need to be correlating with the experience that you had to perform that skill. So focus on those things that you want to be known for, as we mentioned at the top of the app, and make sure you're really honest with them, because skills can actually play a really big part in your job applications going forward.
And I've got that's all brilliant. I've got a quick request of listeners. Go out there and endorse somebody for a skill.
Yeah.
Just go out there. Everyone you know, just endorse en masse. If you're in part of the SportsGrad community, endorse all your fellow community members. If you're working somewhere, endorse all your colleagues, because I think that will in turn come back to you. So
yeah,
I'm just putting it out there. We're going to start the culture of endorsing each other, because it is awkward to ask, hey, can you endorse me? So
let's start a movement of endorsing.
Start the endorsement movement. Get out there and endorse people.
The favourite thing I remember you did for me was, what was it here? I've got my LinkedIn up at the moment. You gave me a recommendation.
Oh, yes.
Which is also extremely powerful. And I think we may have covered that before, and I'm guessing you will know, but you've probably got a bank of LinkedIn episodes that we can go back to where we would have mentioned recommendations. But maybe, that's a question. What is the next best LinkedIn episode that we could point the listeners to?
Recommendations is one I genuinely think we haven't done yet, so we might have to touch on that. Okay. But I think the next best thing you'd
be able to whip off a number here.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the next best thing you want to use LinkedIn for, like content, we're talking about putting yourself out there, showcasing yourself through your skills. Put yourself out there through your content every single day. And I know we touched on this around episode 100 mark, when we talked about how LinkedIn is a force multiplier for your resume if you put yourself out there. And then we went into detail somewhere around the 110, 111 mark. So
You're a freak.
if you go back there. But then also we chatted with Jacob Tober just the other week.
Yeah.
And he kind of threw it on us. We were asking him about creating content. He threw it back on us and said, how do you create LinkedIn content? So he was only a couple of weeks ago, 173. So there's a section at the back end of that episode where we just chatted all about creating LinkedIn content. So if you want your LinkedIn fix, 173 and 110, 111 is probably where you'll find it.
Also, if you're inside the community, you can actually search Discord topic. Sorry, not Discord topic. What am I talking about? Podcast topic in our resource hub. So that's another thing for those that are inside. Or if you aren't inside and want to be able to search that, jump in. Awesome. You're really good with your episode numbers, by the way. I know I say it a lot, but it does astound me. Awesome. Well, that's that. Hopefully that helps and gives you a few things to think about around adding skills to your LinkedIn profile. So I hope you enjoyed that. Find us on LinkedIn, as we've just spoken about for the last 15 minutes. Plus, be sure to jump into the SportsGrad community. We would love to chat with you on there. So head to our website, sportsgrad.com.au/community to join, or head to the link in our show notes. Also, if you do love the show, we would love you to give it some love. So please rate and review the show wherever you are listening, and we would very much enjoy that. So thanks for listening. See you next time.